breath to settle into a nice, slow rhythm, an effortless effort. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Once again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. With each out breath, we're just allowing the ground to support us. Feel the points of connection with the floor or with the chair if your legs are elevated, or the wall. And being aware of the pressure points, but also maybe even rubbing the fingertips, or if your fingertips are on the surface that you're lying on, noticing the sensitivity of the fingertips, the sense of touch. And it's bringing that awareness, bringing your mind to the awareness of the sense of touch. And if you feel that your thoughts are jumping around the place, or you're thinking about, I'm not that comfortable, or a little bit chilly, or there's something I forgot to do, and just adjusting as you need to. Always making sure that you're listening to what you need, what your body needs. But if there's things that are to be done in the future, or things that have been done in the past, just allowing them to be put over to the side. It's almost like putting them in a little basket. Take care of those thoughts, and you can put them over to the side and you can pick them up again later. But right now, you're just bringing your mind's eye to where you're positioned in your room, in your home, and doing a little body scan to see how the body is feeling today and what nourishment you can feed to yourself or your soul. Noticing the point of connection with the head, with the floor. So the little pressure point at the back of the head. Traveling down along the back of the head, noticing the gentle curve at the back of the neck. And coming around to the front of the face, being aware of the forehead, the skin of the forehead and the temples. Is there any kind of furrowing of the brow or pinking? So using up the muscles around the eyes and around the forehead. Is it possible to soften those a little? Imagine turning the corners of the eyes upwards. And the same thing with the muscles of the mouth. Imagining the corners of the mouth are just gently turning upwards. And then become aware of the position of the tongue in the mouth. And also the jawline. So are the teeth comfortably, like a little bit set apart, or is there any kind of tightness that you could soften, just allowing it to let go a little bit? Become aware of your swallow. And throughout the day, being aware of that swallow. If at any time you need a drink of water, we sometimes don't drink enough water, or warm herbal teas, when the weather's changeable like this. Trying out a new herbal tea. Or making your own with lemon, ginger. Being creative, allowing your creative, playful side to try out a few new things, to nourish yourself. And then traveling down the neck and throat, being aware of the muscles at the sides of the neck, the glands. How are you feeling in this area today? Coming down to the upper chest, the shoulders. Are they down away from the ears comfortably? Are the palms of the hands resting on your tummy, or are they out to the sides with the palms facing up? Either way, Just being aware of the adjustment that that does to the shoulder joint. So when they're open, the shoulder joints are exposed at the front, so it opens up the front of the chest a little bit more. But if the hands are coming across the belly, that's okay. Just making sure that you're not bringing the shoulders up around the ears with any position of the hands. And then traveling down the torso, being aware of the front and the back. At the back, the points of connection with the floor. At the front, a softening of the muscles of the chest. Just allowing the breath to be as it is, not trying to change anything, but noticing if the breath is coming from just one area, or if it is kind of a whole torso experience. So as you breathe in, feeling the belly expand and the ribs expand, or just imagining that, and then allowing everything to shrink back down in size. Coming down the spine, when we're lying on the floor, it's a fabulous way for the spine to release all of the pressure and compression that's been happening throughout the day, which we're only at the start of the day, but it can also help relieve if there's been any funny positions in bed or just from lying in mattress that is potentially too hard or too soft. So using the floor, it stretches out the spine, allows the muscles and all of the nerves to relax, increases the blood flow. Coming down to the lower part of the body, so awareness of the hips, the pelvis. Flattening the lower back on the floor, being aware that you're drawing the belly in, and then releasing the lower belly to bring that little arch back in again. Flattening the lower back, and then bringing that little arch back in. So just connecting in the lower back, the pelvic region. Being aware if there is a little bit of tenderness here. Can feel tighter in the mornings. And then the glutes, the buttocks, the hamstrings, the backs of the legs, the calves, all the way down to the heels. And the fronts of the legs, the knees, shins, and the feet, all the way down to the toes. So in the position that you're in, just wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, becoming aware of the end of your hands and your feet. Being aware of these little digits and the importance of these little digits. Keeping our joints, all of our joints, moving and flexible will help with things like arthritis. And also with hormonal changes, it helps us to just move into the joint mobility throughout the whole body. Healthy toes and healthy fingers help with healthy feet and healthy hands. And that helps with balance and dexterity, etc. So then closing the hands into fists and doing nice circles of the wrists and circles with the ankles. Just doing one direction. And then changing direction. Do circles in the opposite direction. Back to center. Just paddle out the feet. So point one foot and bring the other foot towards the body. Then point the other foot and bring the toes towards the body. So you're alternating, and you can alternate with the hands as well. So you're just like stretching one hand away and bringing one hand towards the body, stretching the other hand away and the other one towards the body. And then coming back to center and just wiggling those toes again. And see if you can spread out the toes. Now, it's not an easy thing to do if you're not used to doing it the first few times. They may not move very much at all, but over time, this is something that begins to get easier, and it's very beneficial for the likes of the balance poses. And also it really strengthens the arches in your feet. And then back to neutral. So bending the knees, just placing the feet flat on the surface, either the wall or the chair, And gently sway the knees from side to side. Allow the knees to just rest over to the left-hand side for a moment and turn your head to the right-hand side. So it's a very gentle little twist. And then coming back to center, allow the knees to slightly lean over to the right-hand side while you bring your head to turn to the left. And then back up to center again. This time bring the soles of the feet together, allow the knees to fall out to the side. And then helping the knees back up to center and just roll over onto one side for a moment, resting on the floor, bringing the knees up towards the chest. And enjoy that nice C shape of the back, releasing all effort. You're doing kind of a gentle little forward fold with this line on your side curling up. And when you're ready, using the floor, using your upper hand to press the floor away, coming up into an upright seated position. And just make sure you've got like a blanket folded underneath the hips so that it gives a little elevated little panel for you to sit up on. And getting the pillows underneath the knees, making sure to give that plenty of support. And as we were talking about any sore joints, it's not about working through pain at all, not at all. Because when there's hormonal changes and there are joint pains or discomforts, what we need to do is actually send a message to the nervous system that I'm going to take care of you, I'm not going to put you under any pressure. And that helps the nervous system to relax. And that then in turn helps the endocrine system or the hormonal system to just not go into overdrive. So as we sit upright, we draw the upper half of the body upwards towards the ceiling. So you're extending up through the crown of the head. Palms of the hands can rest on the knees and bringing the first finger and thumb together to bring that connection that helps with concentration. Your palms are just resting on your knees and just doing a little body scan, noticing how am I sitting? Am I curling forward a little or am I leaning back a little bit too much? If I was to look at myself sideways, would I have my ear in line with my shoulder, in line with my hip? Or could I do anything to bring that alignment into being a little bit more? And taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bringing your hands together in prayer position, just bowing the head for a moment and taking a notice of anything that may have come up during the grounding and centering. So where you may want to bring your attention to for the practice or an intention that you want to set for the practice. And it could be for yourself or somebody else. And just taking a moment to repeat to yourself, may I be well. May I be happy and healthy. May I be free from suffering. May I be free from anger. Now bringing the hands back down onto the knees. Resting here just for a moment, checking in with the hips, the knees, the ankles. And then when you're ready, breathing in, sweeping the arms up and overhead, looking up at those hands, and then breathing out, bringing them back down again. The chin drops down towards the chest as you bring the arms down. Breathing in, sweeping the arms up, feeling it into the sides of the body, looking up at the hands, and breathing out, bringing the arms back down by the sides again. And once more, breathing in, sweeping the arms up overhead, and keep the hands up here for a moment. And then curl the tops of your fingers. Now, if they bend at the middle knuckles, that's absolutely fine. But you're just curling the tops of the fingers, which kind of brings a different level of energy into the hands. And check that your shoulder blades are sliding down your back. And then gently pulse the arms. So you're trying to keep the arms straight, but you're pulsing the arms very, very slightly. And this increases the energy in the body. So this allows not only the body temperature to rise a little if it's slow or a little bit cold in the morning, but also if you're overheating. It just helps to shift the energy and then stopping there, extending out through the fingertips and breathing out, hinging forward at the hips, dropping the hands down onto the floor, Resting the palms of the hands on the floor, let the head, neck and shoulders relax. You could even maybe move the head from side to side, and then just allow the chin to rest towards the chest. And looking forward at the hands, walk the hands over to the left-hand side so you're centering yourself over that knee. If you can, you're coming down towards the knee. If you can't, that's no problem. You can maybe even stack your fists on top of each other and rest your forehead on the stacked fists. And then lifting the head, releasing the hands back to the floor, walking the hands over to the other side, centering yourself over the other knee. Again, get that little twist first and nice and comfortable that you feel your hips are heavy on the floor. And then when you're ready, either lowering down towards the knee or stacking your fists on the knee, resting your forehead on the fists. And then lifting the head again, placing the hands down onto the floor, walking the hands back to the center. Turn the hands to face upwards. Gaze is down at the floor. And then turn the hands onto the sides with the thumbs pointing up. Breathing in, lifting the arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing out, bring them back behind you. Interlace the fingers behind, straightening the arms if you can, just opening up the front of the chest. Your gaze can be up towards the ceiling if you like. And then release the hands. One hand out to the side from the hip, the other hand onto the other hip. So you get a nice kind of a side stretch to the body. And when you're ready, lifting that arm up towards the ceiling. And feel the stretch from the hip right up to the fingertip. Check that your shoulder is coming down away from your ear. And then when you're ready, bring the arm overhead. So you get a really nice deep stretch into the side of the body, in between each of the intercostal muscles, in between each of the ribs. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then coming back up to center, let that hand float down to the floor and the other one comes onto the other hip. So once again, making sure that like the knee isn't lifting and the hip isn't lifting. So it takes a moment just to get adjusted and let the legs relax. You're looking over your shoulder and then reaching the arm up towards the ceiling. And then once again, checking now, is my shoulder lifting up or can I slide that down a little bit? And feeling the stretch from the hip to the fingertip. And then when you're ready, bring the arm overhead. So you feel a really nice stretch right into the sides of the body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. And then coming back up to center, allow that hand to float down to the floor. Then we take the blankets out from under the knees. Help the legs up if they need to, extend the legs out in front and give the legs a little shake and a little rock from side to side. Wiggle the toes. Bending up the right knee, bring the right foot across the left leg, leaning over and just bending that straight leg in under. So you're going to sit up in a nice twist. We're also going to bring in eagle arms to this. So this again is a very nice twist and stretch to do, to help connect into the nervous system and also into the endocrine system. So bending the elbows, the right elbows come into the inside of the left elbow, backs of the hands can come together, or if you can wrap the hands around so that the fingertips are coming towards the palms, brilliant. And lift the elbows up and away from your face. You can close over the eyes, you can rest the tongue at the top of the mouth, and you're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. If you can, maybe bring the elbows to the outside of your knee or towards the front of your knee, whichever works. So that's a full body connection now. And then lifting the elbows back up, releasing the arms, placing the hands back down. Lean over to the left in order to free the under leg to straighten first, and then uncross the top. So right leg on the floor, left leg up. Bringing the left foot across, lean over to the right, bending that right leg underneath your hip, coming upright. Adjust as necessary, and then bending the elbows. So this time the left comes to the inside of the right, and the hands come all the way around if you can, otherwise just the backs of the hands together is fine. Lift the elbows up in front of the face and then kind of push them away so you're really broadening the upper back. Connecting to the breath. And the tongue can be relaxed at the top of the mouth. Or if that's just too uncomfortable and doesn't feel right, that's absolutely fine. These are all suggestions. And then bring the elbows down to either connect with the top of the knee, the outside of the knee, or just towards the front, whichever point of connection feels good for you. And then lifting up the elbows again, releasing the arms, bringing them back down, leaning over to the right-hand side, freeing the under leg, uncrossing the top leg and stretching it out, giving the legs a little shake and a little rock from side to side. So bringing the hands over to the side, sweep the knees under. We don't have very long left, but I'd like to do just maybe 2 sun salutations, which are a really nice way to start each day very, very gently. So hands are on the floor and just come up into a gentle, small little downward dog. Doesn't have to be in any way fancy. As you can see, I'm keeping my knees really bent. I just wanted to lift up the hips, bend and straighten the legs. Bringing the weight over the wrists and over the shoulders and back again, just to warm them up a little. And then walk the hands back to the feet. Your hips are lifted, front of the body is folding forward. And then bend the knees and sweep the arms up in front and up overhead so that you come up to stand. Now, if you're at the back of your mat, just coming forward a little. So like I said, we'll only do like 1 or 2 sun salutations, but it's all to move very slowly. So breathing in, sweeping the arms out to the sides, up overhead. Gentle back bend. Breathing out, hinging forwards. Breathing in, straighten the legs and straighten the back. And breathing out, folding forwards. Breathing in, bringing the left foot back and then the right foot back so that you're in a plank. Drop the knees to the floor, bend the elbows back towards your toes and lower the chest and chin to the floor. And then slide the upper body forward so you're dropping your hips down into low cobra. And then press the floor away, curl the toes under, lift up the hips into downward dog. Just do this for a breath or 2. And then walk the feet forward to the hands, bending the knees. And then breathing in, sweeping the arms out to the sides, up overhead. Hands together in prayer position, down in front of the chest. So 1 more, breathing in, sweeping the arms up. Breathing out, folding forwards. Breathing in, straight legs straight back. Breathing out, folding forwards. Breathing in, right foot back. Left foot back to meet it in plank. Dropping the knees, dropping the chin and chest. And then lowering down the hips, lifting the upper chest off the floor in low cobra. Pressing the floor away, curl the toes under, lift up into downward dog. And very gentle downward dog, so keep the knees bent, keep the pressure off the wrists. Or if you want to straighten them, you can. And then gently walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Folding forward and then breathing in, sweeping the arms out to the sides, up overhead, and hands together in prayer position. So bending the knees, hinging forwards as if you were going to be sitting down into a chair. Just bringing the hands down onto the floor and bring 1 knee down and then the other. So coming down to sit on the bum. We're just going to roll back like the little back massage that we do. So the hands can go underneath the knees or to the fronts of the knees and just releasing back, using your legs to roll backwards and forwards. Just giving a little massage. And then coming down onto the floor, rock from side to side. So get that nice little massage in the lower back. And if you bring your hands onto the fronts of your knees, You can do a little circle in one direction and a circle in the opposite direction. And then hug both of the knees into your chest. And bring the knees wide so that they're coming out towards your elbows. And just rock from side to side. So that's a really nice way to, again, massage the lower back. And just being very kind to yourself. Anywhere where you feel any niggles or any discomfort. Just seeing what it needs. If it needs a heat pack or if it needs an ice pack. You can get both of those in the chemist. Or just even a hot water bottle, I find is absolutely fantastic. If there's any little niggles at any point with the muscles. And then place the feet down onto the floor. Bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out to the side. Again, this brings a neutral position to the spine. And you can place your hands on your lower belly for a moment, your elbows resting on the floor. And notice if there's even a gentle movement in the belly as you breathe in. And then as it falls as you breathe out. And if there isn't, that's fine. You can imagine. You can sense, feel, or imagine. One more breath here. And then you can use your hands to help the knees up to center. Bring the knees into the chest again, just hugging the knees in as much as you can. And if you can, lift your head towards your knees. You're just doing that. And bring the toes towards the body as well. And then release back down onto the floor. So if you'd like to come into Shavasana or a supported cobbler, you can put pillows underneath the knees and a blanket underneath the heels. And not forgetting the support of the head. So particularly comforting is a blanket or a pillow that you place not too high and not too firm. So what you want to be able to do is to rest the shoulders at the base of the pillow and then grab the top corners and curl them in. So that's, as I described it last night, like a samosa. It's just cupping your head. And then placing either pillows under the knees, or if you want to just come into a full Shavasana with the arms out to the sides, you can do that. And just making sure that you're lovely and warm. You have everything that you need. And the body is now getting to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So the fact that we've been moving energy and moving kindly, so slowly and kindly, it's giving such an important message to the nervous system and the endocrine system. And noticing anything that you would like to do for yourself, to nourish yourself, that you know that you would value. It's making that time, making the time to practice as well as anything that comes up for you. It's fantastic, even journaling and noticing. So allow yourself to fully release and let go. I'll watch the time. And when it's time to come back to your awareness, I'll ring the bell. Just softly bringing the awareness back to your place on the mat. Being aware of any sounds beyond the room, any smells in the room or taste in your mouth. Being aware of your swallow, of your breath. Maybe rubbing the fingertips together, just being aware of that sense of touch as well. Bending up the knees, just gently sway the knees from side to side. And you could do move your head from side to side as well, but only if that doesn't cause you any lightheadedness or discomfort. And when you're ready, just rolling over onto one side and resting there with the blanket wrapped around you if you have one there. Just bringing the knees up towards the chest. And when you're ready, just using the upper hand to press the floor away, come into an upright seated position and keep the eyes closed. Keep the blanket over your lap, keeping in your sacred space that you've created for yourself. I'm just going to read a blessing by Mother Teresa. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the world your best, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. For you see, in the end, it's between you and God, and it was never between you and them anyway. Bringing the hands together, just rubbing the hands together, connecting back into the self. Bringing the hands to the top of the head. And this entire line is, we have our chakras, but we also have the nervous system and the endocrine system, all represented down one line down through the body. So we bring our hands to the top of the head and just release and let go. Our hands in front of the eyes. Release and let go. Hands on either side of the jawline. Release and let go. Hands on either side of the neck and throat. Release and let go. Hand on the tummy, hand on the heart. Just feeling the weight of the hands or maybe the temperature. Or if there's an absence of sensation as well, that's okay. There is no right or wrong. It's just your time to connect in with yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually. Taking a nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bringing the hands together in prayer position, pressing the thumbs to the heart center and bowing the head, and giving yourself sincere gratitude for creating this space and taking the time to look after yourself today. And I thank you for coming to practice with me. Namaste.